Cybersecurity Today is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsor, Beauceron Security. You can get their 2024 State of Cybersecurity Awareness Report at beauceronsecurity.com, and there's a link you can follow in the show notes.
Security controversy over a new Microsoft tool, a new open-source threat intelligence service, and more. Welcome to Cybersecurity Today. It's Monday, May 27th, 2024. I'm Howard Solomon, contributing reporter on cybersecurity for TechNewsDay.com. It's Memorial Day in the U.S. To U.S. listeners, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you're having a great weekend. As you can tell by my voice, I was a bit under the weather when this podcast was recorded. There's controversy about a proposed Windows tool Microsoft announced last week. It's called Recall. It's an option for computers using Microsoft's Copilot AI chatbot that takes periodic snapshots of users' screens so they can recall or search for something that they might have seen but can't remember where. As outlined in an article by Dark Reading, Recall stores data encrypted on individuals' PCs. Windows administrators can disable Recall in a group or mobile device management policy. Although the data is encrypted, the risk is that information stored by Recall will be a target for hackers because it could save screenshots of passwords and other sensitive data. On the other hand, many IT administrators already use IT behavioral monitoring applications that also capture keystrokes and other actions of employees that could also be found by hackers. Those applications, however, may have better security than Recall. IT administrators will have to think carefully about using Recall. The Open Source Security Foundation has started an open source threat intelligence mailing list for developers called Siren. It's a secure environment for sharing tactics, techniques, procedures, and indicators of compromise. List members will get email notifications about emerging threats, which may be relevant to software projects that use open source components. Johannes Ulrich of the SANS Institute notes that the best threat intelligence comes from peers in your area of interest and not from commercial threat intel sources. IT administrators who oversee courtroom technologies should note the following. A serious vulnerability has been found in Justice AV Solutions' digital audiovisual recording software. According to researchers at Rapid7, you need to be on version 8.38 of JAVS Viewer. An earlier version has been compromised with malware. Beware of fake antivirus websites set up by crooks. According to researchers at Trellix, there are phony websites pretending to be Avast, Bitdefender, Malwarebytes, and Trellix. The goal is to trick consumers into downloading what they think is free or trial security software. Instead, they install malware that records keystrokes that users enter, like passwords, copies data, installs a coin miner, or does other nasty things. Unfortunately, the internet has no way of preventing threat actors from creating lookalike websites using a company's name unless the company has previously registered the URL. So, don't be fooled if you get an email or text message purporting to be from any brand name firm. And if you're using a search engine to find a firm, don't automatically click on the first return, especially if it's labeled sponsored or advertisement. Always double check on links before clicking on them. And also beware of fake websites offering the new Windows version of the Arc browser. Researchers at Malwarebytes say victims using their search engine and looking for the Arc browser may be tricked if they click on the first link they see. Fake returns list the real Arc browser's website, but what victims click on is not that URL, it's a fake URL within the ad. Again, if a search result is tagged sponsored or advertiser, it could be a phony. In January, voters in New Hampshire received automated phone calls that sounded like President Biden telling them there was no need to vote in the state's primary election. The man behind the scam was charged last week with felony voter suppression and misdemeanor impersonating a candidate. On top of that, the Federal Communications Commission has recommended he pay a $6 million fine. The telecom company that actually transmitted the phone calls has also been charged by the FCC with violating regulations. And finally, Google has issued another security update this month for the Chrome browser. Windows and Mac users should be on a version that starts with 125 and ends in 113. That's it for now. Links to details about news mentioned in this podcast episode are in the text version at technewsday.com. Follow Cybersecurity Today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or add us to your flash briefing on your smart speaker. Thanks for listening. I'm Howard Solomon.